Another day, another dollar. Thank the Lord for another 24. God, I knew that was. I'm just finishing up with a nice little home workout, home calisthenics, Sunday, man, light active recovery. Quick correction officer video, though, man. I see a lot of people, they come on, they ask me, is corrections a good stepping stone, to go into another agency? Or I've heard people over the years, at my job or at other prisons and jails that I've worked at, say that they're just doing corrections just to, get some time in and then try to transfer or, become a police officer. I want to come on here and say this. Corrections is not necessarily a stepping stone, The definition of a stepping stone to me, is like an entry-level job. That's at the beginning, There's plenty people, including myself, who have made a career out of working in corrections, and we thriving, we flourishing, we doing good things, you know what I'm saying? The thing is this, though, corrections is one of the few agencies, that you deal with dangerous people on a daily basis, and you do it with little equipment. You got to think about it now. When you a correctional officer, right? You inside working in the unit, it's 100+ convicted people, convicted felons from all walks of life. You got gangbangers, you got murderers, rapists, international terrorists, mafia bosses, people that were selling guns on the street, drug runners, all kind of people, man, from all different types of walks of life who don't want to be in prison or jail. They're there not by their choice. And we're doing it with little equipment. You got 100 people and it's usually just one officer. The only thing they give us is a walkie-talkie, a pair of handcuffs, some pepper spray mace. Depending on where you work at, you may get a riot baton, you may get a taser, A lot of the times, when you're working inside of a correctional facility, your biggest mouthpiece is your weapon, It's not too many jobs where you deal with that on a daily basis, So it takes a special person as it is to go inside behind that wall and to subject yourself to that on a daily basis, So I feel that's not an entry-level job. That's not a stepping stone to something else, Like I said, plenty of people have made a career out. I know plenty of people that have retired from the prison, had a successful 20 to 25, 30 years of government service working at the prison, made good money, made an impact, did their job, provided a service to the community. You got to think corrections is an important component of the criminal justice system, You got the part where the police officers or, the DEA, ATF, they arrest people. Then you got the court system, the people that go to court, they get sentenced, then they come to us, the prison or the jail that do their sentence. It just is what it is. It takes a special person, and it's not for everybody. And I understand, people that have further aspirations. I'm not saying to come into it, and sell yourself short. If you got bigger aspirations, you want to transfer to another agency, or you coming in, just to do a year or two in here on the inside, then you want to go to the outside, maybe work the street as a police officer, by all means do it. I'm just saying, don't sleep on corrections or treat it as just being a stepping stone. It could be a great career. I've been a correctional officer 13 years now. It's one of the best things, that's ever happened to me in my life. It's allowed me to buy a house, pay off my debt, travel the world, go on vacation. And I feel like I'm making an impact. I'm doing a job, a thankless job that a lot of people cannot do. It takes a special person to go inside every day and work inside of a prison system. I talk to people all the time too, and when I could be out and about on vacation somewhere and we start having a conversation, and it always gets to, what do you do? And I tell them I'm a prison guard or a correctional officer. And they're like, wow, I never met a correctional officer. What's it like working inside of a prison? Or they want to always know, what's the craziest thing you ever seen? That's crazy. That's admirable that you're a correctional officer, man. I couldn't do it personally, but man, I've talked to police officers, whatnot. They tell, and this in my run-ins with the police, sometimes it's out and about, this and that. They're like, I could never be a correctional officer, man, or it takes a special person. Sometimes they try to recruit me, they're like, you never thought about working on the road, being a police officer? I'm like, nah, not really. I've been doing corrections so long, it's kind of all I know, and I've kind of, you know, once you get in the groove, you've been doing something long enough and you like it, you know, I still like being a correctional officer. I still like going to work, you know, and I show up every day and I do the best job I can and I go home and I leave it at that. You know, I always stress in my other videos the importance of knowing how to turn it off. You can't be a correctional officer 24/7. You can't be in that state of mind, you know, where you on constant alertness, you know, because once you go inside, you know, you got to be on alert. You got to be on your P's and Q's, and you can't get lackadaisical or complacent because anything can happen at any time working inside that wall. You know, once you behind that wall, man, you could be there 10, 15 minutes into your shift, something go down, inmate get stabbed. You got a staff assault. You got to run, respond to a body alarm, anything, inmate having a medical emergency. It doesn't matter what time of the day. It doesn't matter what time of the year, what shift. When it goes down, you know, it goes down, you know. This is the next thing I want to convey. Corrections in general is filled with plenty highly qualified and educated professionals. You know, you got a lot of people in, you know, the correctional system that have a lot of education, a lot of experience, a wealth of knowledge. You know, you got people that work in corrections that have master's degree, PhD. I just went and got my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I couldn't do all that extra school. Once I got my degree, my 4-year degree, I was ready to be done with school and get into my field, you know. So don't, you know, the public's perception of correctional officers, I read a lot and I study a lot. You know, I'm always keeping my eyes and ears on to what's going on in the field, the agency. You know, there's a perception that correctional officers are uneducated. You know, we beat the inmates, we treat them cruel. You know, all of us are dirty, corrupt staff. When that's not the case, majority of the time, 9 times out of 10, most people that work in a prison or jail are just trying to go there, do their job, and go home. You know, you got people from all walks of life. You know, you got people even, you know, that before they worked as a correctional officer, they worked at another agency. You know, you got people that were police officers. There's a dude down in my jail. He actually worked at the federal prison. He left, became a federal probation officer. He decided he didn't like it, and he came back to be an officer, you know. So people come and go all the time. You know, I seen somebody at my prison, they left. They got a job, I believe, working for the DEA. I think they assigned them to Chicago. You know, Chicago's a rough area. They decided they didn't like it. Last I heard, I don't think they still work with the DEA, you know. But people come and go. People come back. People leave other agencies and they come to work inside the prison. You know, it's all in what you want to make out of it. You know, I just want to stress to anybody that's thinking about corrections, you know, to not necessarily treat it as a stepping stone, and to anybody that's working in corrections currently as an officer, don't ever let anybody try to downplay what you do. Don't ever let anybody downplay what we do, because believe it or not, we serve an important component of the criminal justice system. You know, the criminal justice system as a whole would not be able to function if it wasn't for prisons and jails, correctional officers, people that show up every day and do a job that majority people would never do. You know, like I said, everybody can't work in corrections. It's not for everybody. I've seen so many people come and go over the years. You know, if you about to start working in corrections too, you know, you got your hiring crash, you may have got hired on with a group of people and you stick with it long enough, all those people in your class, you know, when you go to the academy, they're not all going to make it. You know, people either going to burn out from the job, they're going to decide the job is not for them. Some people may get walked out for being dirty, corrupt, bringing in contraband. Some people leave to go to different agencies. You know, it's nobody ever always makes it through as a group, as a collective group, you know. So be blessed. Be thankful that you have this job, man. You able to do it every day, and you being consistent and you thriving in it. You know, me, I plan on riding it out, God willing, till it's time for me to retire. You know, I got, like I said, I got 13 years in, you know, so I could retire at 25 years of service and I'll be 48 years old. So I'll be fairly young, you know, so long as everything's going good, you know, and I still like it, I still enjoy the work, and I show up every day, then I'm just going to keep riding it out. You know, ain't no need to fix something that's not broken, you know. So I just wanted to come on here and say that, you know, corrections working as a correctional officer is not necessarily a stepping stone. Don't let other people and other agencies try to downplay it, you know, just because somebody may work on the road as a police officer, you know, Secret Service, U.S. Marshals, whatever agency. Don't ever try to let them downplay what you do or say, oh, you couldn't cut it as a real law enforcement officer, this and that. Because if it was that easy, shoot, look, won't they go in there and show us how it's done? You know, like I said, I've talked to people that work in other agencies. And they were like, I could never do that, man. You know, I've seen people that were police officers that worked on the street as a police. They come in there and work in the prison and they leave. I've seen it happen a few times. They didn't last damn near a year, 6 months to a year, and they went back to their police department. You know, like I said, it's not for everybody. You know, you made some, I don't know what the situation was. They might not have been comfortable, you know, without their firearm on them. You know, as a police officer, you got a firearm. Working inside of a prison, they don't give you a firearm. Only people that have firearms or guns that's working inside of a prison, or not inside of a prison, but work at the prison, are the people in the gun towers. You know, you got gun towers depending on what prison you at, on the middle of the wreck, or if you work at a violent prison or a high security penitentiary, you got the officers that's in the gun tower in case the inmates get to fighting or have a riot on the yard, get to stabbing each other. You got the officer down there that's, you know, aiming down. Then you got the patrol trucks that patrol the premises of the prison. They're armed with 3 firearms, a pistol, a shotgun, and a rifle, just in case somebody, you know, trying to break out or somebody's trying to break in, stuff like that. But other than that, there's no weapons inside of a prison. You know, they give us a little equipment, but the main thing, you know, working as a correctional officer is your mouthpiece and your walkie-talkie. The walkie-talkie is like your gun, you know. So anytime something goes down, you get on your walkie-talkie. Hey, I got to fight. I need staff assistance. I got an inmate trying to assault me. You got a body alarm. It's a button you hit on your walkie-talkie. Anytime you get into a serious altercation, you got an inmate trying to attack you, stab you. You hit your button and it alerts control. Control gets on the master communicator that goes to all the walkie-talkies. Anybody that has a walkie-talkie turned on, it doesn't matter what channel you're on inside the institution, control gets on there. Control to all available radio units. We got a staff needs assistance on such and such area. We got a staff body alarm in this such and such unit. Everybody comes running, you know. So yeah, like I said, I just wanted to come on here and say that, man. Y'all like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. I got merchandise for sale. Shop with me on my website. This is one of my t-shirts right here. Lifting hard, living large. I got a lot of different motivational, gym, fitness related hoodies and t-shirts for sale on my website. So check out my website when you get time, man. Y'all got any comments, questions, or concerns? Drop a comment. I'll be sure to get back with you as soon as I can. Y'all know how we coming. Let's get motivated.